how's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be taking a look at Scream of the Banshee. This is from 2011 and is put out by After Dark Originals, as well as the SyFy Channel. The movie was directed by Stephen C. Miller, stars Lauren Holly, Marcelle Baer, Eric F. Adams, and features an appearance from Lance Henriksen. Yeah, the top of the box makes it look like he's the star of the movie. It is just an appearance, though, like he's primarily just at the end of the movie. Don't expect too much of him in here. Anyway, though, I have a ton of these After Dark films, you know, the Horror Fest and the originals and stuff like that. And whenever I look through them and I think, okay, I need to pick out another one to watch, this one has caught my eye a few times. I mean, the Banshee's a cool character, then the idea of giving her a whole movie, that sounds pretty fun, and I had a bit of hope for this one. Sadly, it didn't pan out. I mean, the Banshee is a woman whose scream foreshadows death. This should have been ominous like the Final Destination, but it isn't. And it should have had cool, tense moments with the sound, you know, some sort of sound-based horror movie with screaming or something. But it's not. The scares are kind of random, the movie's very meandering, and definitely has a lack of focus. And just several times during the movie, I would watch it and say, that's not working, what were we trying to do here? And it's not great. It's a very generic curse movie. If you guys know curse movies, basically, group of characters get cursed, usually by some supernatural character with a gimmick. They have to survive some scares and solve a mystery. The mystery here isn't super hard. It's just, where is Lance Henriksen? And they'll eventually, you know, be trying to figure out where he is, and it's, again, not hard, and they'll go through some fairly generic, uninspired scare sequences, and the rules aren't even super clear, you know? Why does the Banshee show up and then just do nothing and disappear? Why doesn't she kill them? I don't know. And we'll also get, like, a rule. Like, there's a rule in this movie, like, if you see the Banshee, don't do this. But it never drives any interesting sequences, and it's hardly ever talked about. In fact, one guy gets mortally wounded before he breaks the rule, and I'm like, so what is the structure? What is going on with this movie? And it really doesn't have focus. It just kind of stumbles through its minimal plot with sequences that don't work, characters that you don't really care about, and ultimately it's something that it could have had potential. I mean, like, throughout this movie you'll see a few shots that are energetic. Every now and then we get just tiny little crumbs of Evil Dead, and you're like, wow, okay, there's a fun bit, there's some energy, and then it quite quickly reverts back to a standard curse movie with frustrating elements that don't work. I don't want to say it's the worst thing ever. If you guys need just a lazy Saturday afternoon movie, put something on that you don't have to think about, have a few okay moments, it's not the worst thing ever, it's totally watchable, but there's nothing special going on here, and it's just a little clunky and awkward. It's too bad. I guess in order to analyze it further, let's take a bit of a look at the plot. No major spoilers, but I want to dig in, I want to talk about some of these things that don't work, and I do want to do a bit of analysis. So no major spoilers, but let's do a deeper dive. We open up with a sequence that I get what they were going for, but really doesn't work, because we get the 1100s, Ireland, the Knights Templar going after a Banshee. We get them suiting up. It's, you know, you could tell they had seen Army of Darkness, but didn't know how to mimic it. These guys are riding on horses, and they have a sword that looks like a tuning fork, because sound, I guess. I don't know, it's a V-shaped sword. The guy throws it through the air, and even though this is the clunkiest, least aerodynamic prop you could imagine, it somehow just sinks right into the Banshee. But for whatever reason, one magical object isn't enough, and they need a second one, and they have a shield that looks like a cross, but really it's an unfolded box. And it's even less aerodynamic than the sword, but the guy throws it to the air and just sinks right onto the Banshee's head, and chops the head off and puts it in the box. It's this clunky, weird little prop that's supposed to look like a cool, highly mechanized tool. It doesn't ever come across that way. It's just one of those scenes that just feels awkward. And also, right at the beginning of the movie, you're showing these guys just take out this Banshee like it was nothing, and we're supposed to be afraid of her later. That's a huge misstep. Anyway, we then cut to the present, and we meet our main characters. They're in the basement of a school, and they're cataloging all the artifacts. And they're okay characters, but they don't really have much going on, and to be honest, the movie could have been about one character, and it would have been mostly the same. But we get a teacher who's serious. We get two students. One is the funny student who'll make some jokes, and the other is the more nerdy student, I guess. I don't know. None of these two do anything the professor couldn't have done, but hey, now there's more characters. We also get the teacher's daughter. There's her daughter and the daughter's boyfriend, and the daughter and the teacher have kind of a feud going on, and we get stock drama. Honestly, not much comes out of the drama. It's just there to have a little bit of emotion. But the biggest problem with the daughter is she's not really invested with the basement crowd and with the Banshee. She's kind of removed from the movie for like the first half. In the second half, it decides she's a main character, and it honestly feels kind of weird when she gets pulled into the Banshee subplot. You should have restructured this where the daughter and the boyfriend were firmly in the basement crowd and involved with the movie more from the beginning. I don't know why you sidelined her for the first half. It's awkward. But the characters are all fine. The funny one has a bit of life, I guess, but I'm not super invested in any of them. But then we get where they get the gauntlet from the 1100s in the mail, and they get a map, and for some reason, because one of the rooms on the map is red and they don't know about it, they don't know what it is, and they're surprised when it turns out to be a hidden room, and then when they just touch the wall of the hidden room, it's like rotten, so when it cuts away to a character hearing it and cuts back, the whole door is just blown open and all the boxes are pushed aside. Whatever. Another clunky moment there. I will say, though, it does lead into a fun sequence. They use the gauntlet, open up the box, and they see the Banshee's head inside with this big cartoony smile. And then it explodes. It screams and explodes and scares everyone. And it's one of those, okay, maybe this movie's getting good. And then we get right back into your standard so-so curse movie. Kinda sucks. The janitor's the first one to die, I guess because he had a hearing aid and heard the scream more? I don't know. But the Banshee, fully formed, despite that she was down to a head and the head just exploded, she appears and just kills the janitor. And she also doesn't have her big goofy smile anymore? That's weird. It's like the Banshee has two interchangeable heads. One's the cartoony smile, and one's just a zombie face. And the movie just flips through them randomly, and it feels more inconsistent than anything. And also, she just kills the janitor. Meanwhile, all the other characters just get scared a little bit, and then she'll buzz off. Like, there's a scene where she's poking her fingers through this girl's peephole, because it's not a lens, it's an actual big hole for some reason. And then she, like, kills one of the guys in a video game, which is super random, and then she like kills the teacher, but the teacher, of course, it was just a dream because we're not going to kill off our main character that early. Like, she just kills this security guard and then just messes with everyone else until we're about ready to end the movie. Okay, whatever. That brings us to Lance Henriksen. The box that the head came in was labeled Duncan, and Duncan just put that into the university's search tool, and that's enough to find this guy's video blog. So you just need a last name and you can find someone's video blog on the university's website? Okay, whatever. But we get mumbling Lance Henriksen, like most of the first part of the movie, he's just in these random vlogs doing like conspiracy stuff, but you have to turn on the subtitles if you want to understand what he has to say. it's not the best, but they begin to realize once they start to get scared enough that they should probably find him because he knows what's going on. And again, that's a large chunk of the movie, is random, uninspired, unfocused scares, and then, hey, we should probably find this guy who, to be honest, isn't super hard to find. And it's kind of odd that they were able to get so much of the movie, so much of the runtime done with just this weak little thing to go by. Whatever. As I said earlier, Lance Henriksen is at the end of the movie a lot more, and more stuff starts to happen. The Banshee finally goes, hey, the movie's almost over, I should actually kill some of these people. And it's not a great finale, but it is one where it does heat up a little better, and it ends okay enough. But yeah, it's just one that constantly didn't go anywhere and had weird mistakes, and yeah, it's just one that could have used a rewrite, could have used a little more attentiveness when shooting. It's just one that didn't pan out great. Overall, an okay movie, not really great, more just a B-side to throw on when you have a lazy day. Anyway though, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll leave a relevant playlist on the bottom. This should be my After Dark Films playlist. If you guys want to see me talk about some of the Horror Fest movies, some of the other originals, you should be able to find those there. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Relevant playlist on the bottom. Have a good day now.